Welcome to Cavaletto Studios. I'm Chris. Active yoga for the soul begins with a slow warm-up, building heat in the body with a transition to a more energetic flow. You will finish feeling calm and confident, having used movement to connect with the body, improving mobility through a variety of postures. So grab your mat and let's get started. We're going to begin on our backs, laying just comfortably, head resting on the floor. If it doesn't reach the floor, feel free to put a block or blanket under your head or a pillow. We're going to close our eyes and let's take a nice deep breath in and out through the nose. And one more of those. Inhale. And exhale. We're going to bend the knees and place the feet flat on the floor. Tuck the hips so your low back can be pressing down. And then we're going to take both arms and we're going to bend the elbows and bring the backs of the hands to the floor like cactus arms. You can open up that chest, feet flat, about hip distance apart, maybe a little narrower than the hips. And then you're going to drop your knees to the right, gently letting flow to the right, and then slowly bring them up and let them drop to the left. And again, up and to the right. And slowly coming up and drop to the left. And then we're going to come back to center. And this time we're going to heel toe the feet a little bit wider than the hips, maybe towards the edges of your mat, depending on how wide your mat is. And again, dropping the knees to the right, and then to the left, and again to the right, and one more time to the left. And then bringing the knees back to center. Walk the feet back into alignment with the hips, and then we're going to take the right ankle, cross it over the left thigh, open up that knee. So we want to warm up the core just a bit here. So to do that, you're going to press into your left foot on the floor, lifting the hips to a single leg bridge. And then exhale, lower the hips down. And now you're going to pull the foot off the floor, keeping the figure four, extend the left leg to the sky, bend the knee, place the foot back down, lift the hips again, lower them back down, pull the foot off the floor without using your hands, extend the leg up, bend the knee, place the foot back on the floor, and then we're going to uncross that right foot, place the foot back on the floor, and let's take the right ankle over the left ankle, we're switching legs. So switch legs, figure four, pressing into the right foot, lifting those hips off the floor. Exhale, lower the hips. Pull your right foot up without using those arms, extend the leg to the sky. Bend that right knee, place the foot back on the floor. Press into the foot, lifting your hips. Lowering all the way back down, extend it up, and then bend the knee, place the right foot back on the floor. Now we're going to uncross that left foot, place it on the floor, both feet about hip distance apart, and then you're going to press into both feet, lifting to a bridge, and then slowly lower those hips back down. And now we're going to hug the knees into the chest, give them a squeeze and a rock side to side. Finding your center, hold the right shin, and then extend the left leg to the front. Maybe lift your nose towards your knee. Take a breath in, and then exhale the head to the floor. Switching legs, flex both feet. Inhale, lift your nose to your left knee. Exhale the head back down, Pull both knees into the chest and separate your knees, pull them into the armpits. And then bring the knees back together. Now from here you can stay with the knees bent and roll to your side to push up, or you can roll straight up and extend the legs straight out to Dandasana, your staff pose. So we're going to sit up nice and tall, pressing your palms into the floor, flexing those feet, maybe bringing the heels off the floor. Take a breath in, feel those muscles of the thighs pressing into the bone. Take a deep breath in, and then exhale, let the legs relax. Shake them out. Now we're going to pull the right knee in towards the chest and cross the foot over the thigh, and then bring your left arm around. We're going to just do a twisting stretch here, hugging that right knee with the left arm. Flex your left foot and look over your right shoulder. Pressing your right palm into the floor, trying to lengthen through the spine. Find your breath. From here, we're going to slowly release that leg, extend it out. Take a deep breath in, reach the arms overhead. Exhale, palms to heart space, centering ourselves. And then bring that left knee in, crossing it over the thigh. Flex your right foot. Bring the left hand behind you as a kickstand. Lift and lengthen, twisting. So you're twisting your chest towards your left knee. And just breathe here. Deep breath in. Now from here, we're going to release. Extend the leg back out. Take a deep breath in, reach both arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Maybe reach the fingers towards your big toes. Give them a shake. Shake out those knees, those legs. Just checking in, staying long through the spine. And then inhale the arms back up. And then as you exhale, bring the bottoms of the feet together, holding onto the ankles and just flapping those knees, loosening up the hips. And then let the knees melt towards the floor, elbows towards your rib cage, leaning it forward. Option to send the elbows out, pressing into the thighs. And just find your breath. And remember not to collapse through the gut. You want to lengthen and lean forward. And continue breathing. Checking in with those inner thighs. And now we're going to lift and extend all the way up. Extend your left leg forward. And then bring your right ankle across your left thigh. And then just rotate your right ankle. Circle it around. And then change direction. Now we're going to bring the right hand under the shin, lift the foot, and we're going to just draw it back and forth across the body, checking in with that hip joint. Left foot is flexed. Now we're going to go a little deeper. Option to place your foot inside the elbow if that's in your practice, and then the knee in the opposite right elbow. Maybe interlace, cradling the baby, and lifting that shin towards your chest and sitting up nice and tall. And just find your breath here. Lift and lengthen a little more. Maybe pushing that foot towards the elbow. One more breath. And then we'll unlace the fingers if they're laced, and then slowly extend that right leg. You might feel some sensation in the leg. That blood flow comes in. And then we're going to take the left ankle over the right thigh, circle the ankle. Still lengthening through the spine. Change directions with the ankle circle. Right foot is flexed. Now you're going to take your left hand under the shin. Place your left foot in the right elbow, interlacing. Maybe a little rock side to side if you need to work your way up there. Maybe move the knee a little bit side to side first. One side might be tighter than the other. And then once you feel like you can relax in your posture, lengthen and lift and find your breath. Continue breathing in and out through your nose. Pressing that foot towards the elbow. One more breath. And then slowly unlace the fingers, extend the legs out, flexing the feet. Inhale, reach the arms out to the side and up. And exhale, forward fold, reaching for the toes. It might be a little easier. Wiggle those knees. Shaking it out. Again, not collapsing through the back, but lift, lengthen, and lean forward. One more breath. And then inhale the arms up. And then exhale, finding your tabletop. Bringing the knees under the hips and the hands under the shoulders. Spreading out those fingers. Feel free to place a blanket or pillow or pad under your knees. Cat-cow, round through the back. Nice exhale. Inhale, lift and open and arch. And again, exhale, round. And inhale, lift and open. And exhale, round. And inhale, lift and open. And then find your neutral spine, looking at your thumbs on the floor. Pull the shoulders away from the ears without shifting your weight. Try to extend your right arm to the front. Thumb is up. Left toe to the back of your mat. Get a little stretch in that calf. Keeping the hips level, the belly in, lift your left leg up, extended tabletop. Find your breath as you look at your left thumb on the floor. Pull those shoulders, literally pulling them away from the ears. Now we're going to bring the hand and the knee back to the floor. Extend your left arm forward, thumb is up. Take your time. Tuck your right toe into the back of the mat, engaging the belly as you lift that right leg off the floor, foot is flexed. Finding your balance, trying not to shift your weight and your breathing as you look at your right thumb on the floor. And then the hand and the knee are going to come to the floor. We're going to separate the knees, feet together, and you're going to slide your hips towards your heels, belly between your thighs. Find your child's pose. Melting your forehead to the floor, reaching the fingers out, really stretching through those armpits. One more breath. And then you're going to lift your head. And we're going to take the right hand, and we're going to send it underneath. Palm is up, lowering to the right shoulder, threading the needle. Keep that right hand way out front, stretching it out, wiggle those right fingers. One more breath. And then you're going to bring the hand in close. The left hand, reach the right hand forward, unthreading it, and switch sides. And then reach that left arm, wiggle those fingers, right arm reaching to the front of your mat. Find your breath. Now bring the right hand close to the head for support as you come up. Unlace that hand, and then the left, reach the hands forward. Coming out of your child's pose, tucking the toes. We're going to get back into alignment like we're going into our tabletop. But walk the hands a little bit in front of your shoulders, finding your downward facing dog. Lift the hips, pedal out your feet, walk your dog. Move those hips gently side to side. We're just trying quite a variety of postures today, seeing what feels good to the body, using movement just to work out the kinks, to give us some energy. And now rise up and down on the toes. And then we're going to walk the feet nice and wide. And again, up and down on the toes, pushing the heels towards the floor, hips up, and then rise up into the toes, back into the heels. And then walk those toes back to alignment with the hips. And then you're going to step, hop, or walk both feet forward, finding your forward fold. Let's do a half lift. Place the hands on the shins, lift and lengthen. Shoulders away from the ears as you breathe in. And then exhale, forward fold. And we're going to soften and bend the knees. Let the belly rest on the thighs. And then slowly rise up. Inhaling all the way to mountain. And exhaling. Palms to heart as you find your Tadasana, your mountain. Lift and lengthen, nice and tall, closing your eyes for a moment, feeling your feet grounding into the earth. Notice the energy running through your body. Take a deep breath in, reach the arms to the sky. Exhale the palms to the front as you bend your elbows to cactus arms. Knees soft, side bend to your right. And the center. And then side bend to the left. And then center. And then let the hands come behind the back. Interlace the fingers, pressing the palms, opening to chest expansion. We're never yanking or pulling on those arms or the shoulders, and then option to add a forward fold, bringing the nose to the knees and the arms up and keeping the knees soft. And again, go where you feel comfortable. And then slowly rising all the way back up, lift and lengthen, pressing those interlaced fingers towards the earth. Release the fingertips and just swing the arms literally front to back. Tapping the fingers front and back, loosening up through those shoulders. You want this to feel good. Now we're going to bring the hands next to the body, open the palms to the front. Take your right foot back, warrior one. So you're stepping back, melting that whole foot into the floor. And as you bend into that front left knee, make sure that you can see the big toe, your hips are mobile, and then we draw the arms up. Option for the arms to be together or apart. And just breathe. Inhale and exhale. Now we're going to transition to warrior two. Pivot that back foot, extending arms front and back. And focus on pulling that knee towards the pinky toe as the hip opens, but never forcing that back hip to rotate where it's uncomfortable or it feels like it's cramping. So your hips, we might want them to face the side of the mat, but naturally they might be more at a little bit of an angle. So you can also move your foot in the back to adjust, because we don't want to cram up that femur into the wrong place in that hip bone. And looking over those left fingertips. Take a deep breath in our warrior two. Now we're going to windmill both hands all the way to the floor. And we're going to take a step forward to forward fold. We're going to inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Slight back bend. Exhale, palms to heart space. And let's take the left foot back, warrior one. Extending it up. And again, go where it's comfortable for you with your arms, bending into that front knee. Make adjustments with the hips, moving it around. What feels good to you. Make adjustments with the shoulders. You know, if this bothers your shoulders, you can always bring those arms to cactus arms. Or down to the prayer hands at chest, whatever feels good. Check in with that front knee. It's pushing to the pinky toe. And then we transition to warrior two. We're going to open up, bend into that front knee. And again, you don't want to feel any pain in that back left hip. So drawing that knee. So we don't want the knee to collapse in. A lot of pressure. And then when we force everything, again, being mindful of that back hip. If we're trying to square it to the side of the mat, it could jam up. So again, getting it just a little bit of a natural twist diagonally here. Listening to the body is key. And you're breathing. One more breath. Now we're going to windmill the hands to the floor. Take a step forward, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees. Inhale, rise. Exhale, forward fold, swan dive. Step, hop, or walk back to your plank. Nice and strong. You are welcome to be on your knees for the chaturanga, or you can rock on the toes, elbows in, and you exhale, lowering to the floor, trying to hover above, and then bring the belly to the floor, gently pressing up, upward facing dog. Take your time, and then exhale, downward facing dog. So it might be a little easier, pedal out your feet, walk your dog, melt into your downward facing dog, pulling the shoulder blades more apart, and breathe. One more breath, and then we'll go either up into the toes, back into the heels. You can bend the knees, step, hop, or walk both feet forward, forward fold. Nice. Inhale, half lift. Exhaling and folding. Then we inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, palms to heart space. Take your right foot back. We're going to find our crescent lunge. So you're going to balance on the ball of the foot. Make adjustments. I got to wiggle my left toe a little forward. And then sink those hips backward, just down as you lean back slightly and extend the arms apart and up. Thumbs kind of leaning, pushing to the back wall or to the floor. And breathe. And then you're going to rise up, straighten both legs. Reach to the sky. Pivot, even if you have to take a step forward a little bit with that back foot, your back heel to the floor, bend into your front knee for warrior one. Press the palms together if you'd like. Now you're going to open up to warrior two, extending, and again, think about those hips. So if you're forcing that back hip back, that knee's going to collapse in, and vice versa. So make those adjustments with the hips. Extending the arms to the front and back. Turn your left thumb up to the front of the mat. Extend the fingers wide. Straighten out your front leg. Now, this is where we're going to move our hips a bit. I'm going to shift your hips to the back of your mat, reaching it forward, finding your triangle, opening it up. And find your breath. Inhale and exhale. Now we're going to windmill it backwards for a reverse triangle, reaching the hands to the back thigh. Shift those hips again, make adjustments, option to reach behind your back. Really reach that top arm behind to the back of the mat, and then bend the front knee and bring both hands, windmill them to the floor. And then take your back leg forward, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Knees soft. Inhale, rise. Exhale, palms to heart space. Maybe we're getting that blood flowing, right? We're waking up. Or if it's nighttime for you, you're getting some energy going, getting some sweat going. Take your left foot back. Crescent lunge, building heat in the body, extending the arms up and apart. Thumbs towards the back. Melt a little deeper to the floor. Use those muscles. Let's strengthen those legs, improve our balance. While you're breathing, straighten out both legs. Pivot your back heel to the floor and then bend into that front leg for warrior one. Pressing the palms together. Breathe. Are you getting warm? Challenge yourself, maybe with a wider stance if you want to. Now we're going to pivot to warrior two. Open it up. Make those adjustments. Move those hips. Turn them a bit. Bend into that front right knee. It's going towards the pinky toe. Extend the arms to the front and back of your mat. Lifting tall through your spine. And you're breathing. Inhale and exhale. So again, if you're pushing that back hip, left hip back, it might feel a little tight. So you want to maybe loosen it up a little, let it twist just slightly so you're not torquing on the knee or the hip there. We don't have to square them because it actually is not really a natural position there. And breathe. Now we're going to turn our right thumb up, extend the fingertips, straighten the front leg. Start to hinge forward. As you reach, the hips naturally start to shift to the back of your mat. Bring your hand on the inside, finding out your triangle, keeping that top shoulder way up there, stacked on top of the right, left on right. And breathing, maybe you hold on to the shin or ankle or the floor, use a block. Now let's reverse it, come up, reach for the back thigh, right hand up, palm faces the back. You can even reach behind your back. Again, find that shift in the hips that's comfortable to you. And breathe. Now we're going to bend that front knee, windmill both hands all the way to the floor. And then we're going to bring the back foot forward, forward fold. We're going to inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, palms to heart space. Now you're going to take a step back. I'm going to start with my left foot. So whatever side feels good to you that you're facing forward, that you can see. Toes wide, we're going to find our star. Nice and tall. And then we're going to bend the knees and we're going to find our goddess. So we're long-wise on the mat. We're just going to shift side to side. And we're going to open it up and then find your center. And then rise to star. Extend the arms up wide. Open those fingers, toes open. Bend the knees, back to goddess. And open up that chest. Let's lift the right foot up. And breathe. And then lower. Lift the left foot. And lower. How about both heels? And both heels down. And let's see if we can extend the arms. Extend the legs. So arms are now out to the sides, palms down. Turn the heel that's facing the back of your mat out. And then bend into it. So I'm bending in towards, leaning towards the back of my mat. Pull the front foot up. And hold here. And breathe. You got this. Use those muscles. Let's pivot to the other foot. Shift sides. Pull the toe up. Hold and breathe. You got this. All right, let's bring the feet to the floor. Inhale. Rise all the way up. Palms to heart space. Turn your heels in, toes out. Bend the knees, find your goddess. And then bring the palms together. See a little bit lower, yogi squat. Well, almost a yogi squat. Legs are really wide on this one. Shift side to side, just a little shift. And then inhale, lift. All the way up. Go ahead, turn your foot towards the front of the mat. Bend the knee, reach both hands towards the floor. Step back to plank. Nice and strong. Pull the shoulders away from the ears. Take a deep breath in. And then we're going to exhale, elbows to the rib cage, lower down, chaturanga. And then inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. And just breathe here. Inhale and exhale. Rise up on the toes, back into the heels. Take the feet as wide as your mat. Soften the knees. Now I want you to start to bend your knees towards the floor, but don't let them touch. And slide your hips towards your heels. And then send the hips back up. And then walk your feet back in alignment with the hips. And then step, hopper, walk. Both feet forward, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. Exhale, palms to heart space. And then bring the hands behind the back. Finding your chest expansion again. And breathe. Option to add that forward fold now. Softening the knees, nose to knees, arms up. And then slowly rise, relaxing the arms as they come down, head comes up. Release the hands, swing front to back, tapping those fingers. Now we're going to lengthen and lift the arms forward, inhaling up. Exhale, palms to heart space. So whichever way you turn the first time, you're going to turn the opposite way and face the side of your mat, toes out. Find your star. Bend your knees, find your goddess. Again, strength and balance, heat, building those muscles. Now we're going to lift the right heel and then lower it, and then the opposite heel. And then lower it. Now both heels. Try to keep that balance. Both heels come back down. Bring the palms to heart space. See if you can lower a little more. Inhale, rise, straighten the legs, extend the arms to star. Good, palms to heart space. Bend the knees, extend the arms out to the side, front and back of the mat. And then just do a little shift here, side to side. Adjust your heels how you need to. Shifting your hips towards the back of the mat. Straightening out the leg that's to the front. Good. Ninja, flying monkey, depending on which posture name you like better. Pulling that toe up, inner thigh, stretch. Inhale, switching sides, transitioning. So your hips are to the front. Toe is up in the back, straight leg. And then we lift and lengthen all the way up. Palms to heart space. Good. Lower the hips down as you turn your heels in, and a gentle shift from side to side. So again, getting that hip mobility, getting that strength, super important. And then inhale, rise, reach the arms up and out. Turn your front foot towards the front of the mat. Reach towards the floor. So now you're in a low lunge. And then we're going to bring the back foot forward. Find your forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Slight back bend. Exhale, forward fold. Swan dive. Right leg comes back to a low lunge. Hands on either side of your foot, or you can have blocks there. Right hand on the floor next to your left foot. Now a couple options. You can place your left hand on the thigh. Twist your right shoulder towards your left knee. Now if you'd like to go a little deeper, you can also bring your right knee to the floor. And then extend the left arm up, and then extend the leg straight again. Optional. You can try both. You can lower and lift. Again, hip mobility, a little bit there. Balance and strength. Then bring that top arm back down to the floor. Let's step back to plank. Pull the shoulders away from the ears. Good. Now you're going to lower your right knee, just the right knee, to the floor, and rotate the foot out, and then drop to your right elbow. So we're in a kneeling side plank. The left leg is going to come up, and then the left arm is going to come up. Optional. Now, if you want more of a challenge, you can straighten out your bottom leg and still lift the top leg. So you've got options. And then we're going to bring the feet to the floor, rotate back on down, both elbows on the floor, knees on the floor, or toes, and you can come into an elbow plank. Again, on the knees or the toes, using those core muscles. Strengthening, challenging the body. Again, just building some heat. Now you're going to lower the knees for a moment. Shift your hips back enough that you can walk your hands in underneath or a little in front of the shoulders. Toes are tucked, and lift your knees slightly off the floor. Pull the shoulders away from the ears, and then shift to a downward facing dog. And breathe. And then step, hop, or walk, both feet forward, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. Slight back bend, and then exhale, forward fold, swan dive. This time we're going to take the left leg back to a low lunge. Left hand in front of, right next to the right foot. Right hand on the right thigh. Twist towards your front thigh. Shoulder towards the knee. Right hand can go up. And again, you have the option. You can lower the knee towards the floor. You can try to straighten it. You can do both. See how mobile that hip is. You can barely touch the floor. One more breath. And then we're going to bring the hands to the floor. Go ahead and step back to plank. Now you're going to lower the left knee, kick it out to the side, and lower onto the left elbow. And the forearm goes parallel with the front of the mat. Option to lift your right leg and right arm. If you want more of a challenge, you can straighten out both legs and lift the top leg. And just breathe here. Movement is medicine. We want to feel good. And then bring the top foot down. Bring the hands down. Bring it to an elbow plank. And you can be, again, on the knees, but your hips are forward if you're on the knees. They're not up above the knees. And breathe for your elbow plank. Now, separate your knees. Bring them to the floor. Untuck your toes, bring them together, slide back into child's pose, belly between the thighs. And breathe. See if you can let your forearms rest on the floor, if they go there. Notice if your heart is pumping, how you're feeling. What's good for the heart is good for the brain. I'm going to get that blood flowing. So now we're going to transition from child's pose, coming up and out. Tuck the toes, downward facing dog. And then we're going to take the right leg up, three-legged dog, bend the knee, stack the hips, pull that foot to the left. And then we're going to swing it down, coming to a pigeon. Slide your right knee to the right wrist, left leg extending back, pushing into that back left foot to top of the foot, and the top of the knee is on the floor. Feel free to put a block or blanket under that right hip. And then melt yourself forward, forehead to the mat. Or again, on a block or pillow. Make those adjustments that feel good to you. Find your breath. Inhale and exhale. One more breath. And then we'll bring the hands close to the body to lift up and lengthen. Go to the fingertips as we stretch out through that front hip flexor. Tucking the back left toes under. Transitioning slowly back to a downward facing dog. You can pedal out your feet. You can shift your hips. And it's going to feel really good now to extend that left leg up. Bend the knee and stack the hips. So we're just transitioning to the other side as we pull the knee towards your wrist, sliding to pigeon. Extend that right leg behind you. And again, feel free to go to reclining pigeon on your back if you need to. And you can shift. You can put a block or blanket under the hip if it's far from the floor. And then walk those hands forward. And find your breath. The top of your right knee and your right foot is on the floor. Inhale and exhale. One more breath. And then you'll start to work your way up, coming to the palms and then to the fingertips, really extending. And then we'll sit on the hip. If you are on a block or blanket, you're going to pull it out and bring your right leg up and around, placing the foot flat on the floor. And then we're going to hug that right knee with the left arm, lift and twist. Find your breath looking over your right shoulder. One more breath. And that's counter stretch. We're going to release, slide your right elbow on the inside of the right knee. Left arm behind you, lift and twist. And breathe. So even if you're not sweating, if you are sweating, you've still built some heat, you got some mobility in the body. Any movement is good movement. We're going to release, come back to center, go and unwind those legs, extend it out. Just a great de-stressor too, letting go. Now from here, we're going to switch legs. So you're going to bring your left leg across the right thigh, lift and twist, option to bend your right foot. Bring it close to the glute, but not sit on it. You're going to lift and twist, hugging that knee into the chest. You can use your left hand as a kickstand, sitting nice and tall. And breathe. Inhale and exhale. And then we're going to counter stretch. So you're going to take your left elbow on the inside of the left knee, right hand behind you, lift and lengthen and twist. Look over your right shoulder. Now from here, we're going to unwind, come back to center. Let's extend both legs out in front. And Dandasana, press the palms into the floor, lift and lengthen, flexing those feet. Take a deep breath in, and then exhale. And then reach the arms overhead. And then exhale, forward fold, reaching the fingertips towards the big toes. And again, notice if you're starting to collapse. Lift and lengthen. If it means you just hold on to the shins or the thighs, that's totally fine. You can sit on a block or a blanket. That might help. Keep your hips in alignment and your posture. Just gently bending into the elbows if possible. One more breath. And then we're going to release. Inhale the arms up. Bend the knees, slide the heels towards the body slightly. Find your cactus arms. So a variation of boat. Option to lift those legs. Option to hold on if you need to. Option to extend. Bring the palms together to heart space. Bend those knees again. If they're off the floor, you can always leave them down on the floor. We're going to slightly extend halfway to the floor. And you're going to inhale, lift. And again, extend. And then lift. We're going to add some arms. Extend open to cactus. Bring them back up together. And then extend. And then bring them in. You might be getting a little shaky or starting to feel something. Extend and lift. We have two more. You can always do this with the heels on the floor. Lift, we got one more to go. Extend, lift and hold. And we're going to extend all the way back to the floor. So when your head comes to the floor, I want you to pull your right knee into the chest. And then extend it all the way up, holding on to the back of the thigh. Option to walk your hands up to the calf. You can also use a strap or towel if you need to. Rotate your right ankle. And then the other direction. Now you're going to inhale and you're going to lift your nose to your knee. And then you're going to exhale the head back to the floor. And then go ahead and switch legs. So just bend your left knee into the chest, give it a hug, straighten your right leg to the front of the mat, and then extend it up, holding behind the thigh or the calf. You can walk the hands up higher, rotate your ankle. Can you tell one side's way tighter than the other? Me too. Way different on one side than the other. Now we're going to inhale, lift the nose to the knee if you'd like. And then we're going to exhale the head all the way back down. Then bend your right knee. Place the foot on the floor and then bend the left. So now both feet are flat. Reach your fingertips towards your feet or your ankles. Turn your toes in about 1/2 inch. And then we're going to lift to a bridge. Try to keep the knees in alignment. Option to bring your arms to cactus arms. And then lower the hips. Walk the feet as wide as your mat and drop both knees to your right. Then turn your head to look to the left. And just breathe here. And your arms are cactus arms. Now we're going to bring both knees up. Let your head turn to the center and then to the right and drop both knees to your left. Find your breath. Feel a calmness starting to come to the body as you lay on your back. And then bring your head to center. Knees come back to center. Walk the feet in. Reach your hands down next to the body. And then go ahead and straighten out the legs and let them just fall open. Turn your palms up. And then if you're comfortable, close your eyes. Take a nice deep cleansing breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. Now we're going to take another inhale, reach the arms overhead, point the toes. And then exhale, pull the knees into the chest. And then you can roll to the side, or you can roll straight up. We're going to come back up to a nice, tall, easy seat. Sit up nice, tall, and lengthened. Bring your palms to your thighs, turn them up. Bring your first finger and thumb together. Close your eyes for a moment. Take a breath in and out. And then inhale, reach the arms all the way overhead. Exhale, palms to heart space. Thank you so much for joining me today. Namaste.